This isn't Calais, where tensions with migrants are well established. Ouistreham is a sleepy fishing port 4 hours to the west, but it has 3 ferries a day to England, and that's why these young men are here. This isn't a one-off. It's happening every day and every night on every truck that passes through. We follow one Bulgarian lorry. The first group manages to open the door, but none of them climb on. A little further on, the driver stops. He's clearly aware of what's just happened. And seconds later, even before we were back in the car, they were past us and onto the truck. The route down to the port here is not like larger ports, Calais or Dunkirk, where motorways lead straight to the dockside. Here the trucks must snake through the town. It makes them much more vulnerable to this.
The police are there.
The police do what they can with the resources they have. Around our car, the young men don't like being filmed.
So even right in front of the police there, they're trying to get on.
Okay, and you're all from Sudan?
Yeah, all from Sudan.
And why England?
England is good.
How do you know England's good?
My family here, my brother, big in England.
Your brother is in England?
Yeah.
And how did he get to England? On the trucks?
Yeah, here.
Here?
Yeah.
He was here?
Yeah, in here I'm going to England.
Nous, on a pris des agressions. J'ai été agressée par 7 Arabes dans le métro parce que j'étais debout. Eux étaient assis, mais ils sont venus me boxer. Mon fils s'est fait balafrer au visage, madame. Vous ne savez pas ce qui va se passer.
على الصحر يسود عدوان وفي العهود واللي عادينا ما يعود اطلعنا من اجدادنا اذكروا مربانا عطيب اتصال
Martin, the Swedish Social Democrats hoped that the amnesty for migrants in 2005 would give us pause. The opposite happened. Pull factors increased. The following decade meant a migration wave we've never seen before. This year, 1 shooting a day, 1 bombing a week, and areas ruled by criminal gangs and clans caused Bildzeitung to name my country the most dangerous country in Europe. Now, I understand that your government is pushing through a mass amnesty. For how many, no one seems to know. Taoiseach, have you looked at migration prognosis for the future? Ipsos tells us that 1.5 billion people would like to migrate if given the opportunity. The French government estimates that 35 to 40% of those would choose to Europe. That's 500 million that would like to go to our continent if given the opportunity. The same as the whole EU population, Taoiseach. Africa's population is set to grow from 1.4 billion today to 4 billion at the end of this century, and there aren't enough jobs. Taoiseach Martin, do you think that mass amnesties for illegal migrants by EU member states is going to alleviate or worsen migration pressure on Europe? Thank you.
You don't expect criminals to obey an instruction to obey the law. That's not the way criminals behave. And all illegal immigrants are by definition criminals. We don't learn. We have had the opportunity of being neighbours of Britain to learn from how badly the British handle these things. But no, we're determined to make their mistakes all over again in a particularly Irish way, so we can say we're Irish and we do it the Irish way and be proud of ourselves. It is the insufferable conceit associated with Ireland's attitude towards immigration. But there won't be conceit in 20 or 30 or 40 years' time when Drogheda or Dundalk or Limerick goes the way of the city that I was born in, Leicester, which is now 54% Asian, and London is now again approximately 54 not Asian but 54 non-British, and 2/3 of all children in London maternity hospitals are born of foreign mothers. So then you have a transformation of an entire society, racially, culturally, every aspect of it, and that's fine if you've agreed on it beforehand. But if you haven't agreed on it, haven't discussed it, and most of all with the communities who are most involved, then it's not fine. We know from the experience in Britain that the small mining towns in the north of England were not consulted about large-scale immigration from Pakistan, and we know now, after 10 years or so of research, not by newspapers initially, because journalists turned their back on inconvenient truth, about 100,000 white working-class English girls have been groomed and raped by these gangs of Pakistanis in the last 20 years or so. And the various British feminist groups have said nothing about it. They don't attack immigrants. They say nothing about the ruination and spoliation of these poor, hapless, abject working-class girls, because they're working-class and they're white, therefore they don't count. So we do have a new kind of racism in Western Europe, and the racism affects white working-class girls. I imagine the same could be happening in Ireland, but we don't know.